Hey boys, how are we?
Good, Jazz. How are you?
Yeah, good. Jesse got your Brian Toto last week and Zaki, Jimmy a duck egg, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Had to come crashing back down to reality after the cleanup the week before. So it's expected.
And the week before.
But we bounced back.
Well, let's get straight into it, boys. We are welcome back to Team Rocket from week 13. We are in the BodyScience Content Studio here at YKTR Sports. And just like Jimmy was saying then, sometimes, and guess what, Jimmy, you're not the only one. All three of us have just got a little bit ahead of ourselves in the past. Whenever we have a couple of good weeks or we have a good win, we carry on a little bit. Which most punters do. A lot of punters like to tell you about their wins. They very rarely tell you about their losses.
Jimmy's he's well renowned for that.
But I don't look at it as an L, Skip. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. You learn. You don't lose.
That's it. That's it. I think Michael Jordan. Speaking of Michael Jordan. You know, rent's due every week, boys. You know that. So we're going to get into our tips. But I think Michael Jordan once said that he never lost a game. He just ran out of time. So
yeah, you're right.
So that's happened to us in a couple of races, Jimmy.
And hey, just like many horses, they didn't have further enough.
That's it. And that could be a little hint on who the skipper's taken in the head-to-head in the Makybe Diva a little bit later on. But we'll wait before we get into that. Jess, you're very confident on Zaki. You got into me early in the week. Whenever this happens, boys, I feel like I've got to back you from now on because I think Jimmy's said he wanted to get on something about 3 or 4 weeks ago earlier, and then Jess with Zaki. Obviously, it did it easy and it won well, Jess.
It was fucking that impressive, man. Like, even J-Mac was a bit impressed afterwards. He gave nothing for it, man. Like, it just...
hands and heels.
Rat gallop, and he put that that's what I said. I didn't think it was a strong field compared to what he can face, and he made it look like that. And again, the further that trip would have been, the further he put on everything. It was as simple as that.
Yep.
It was very good return for Zaki. And if they can get him to Melbourne,
he's going to Melbourne.
He will?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, if he gets down to Melbourne, I like him as a chance for the you do?
We've already got him
for the Cox play.
You got him for the Cox, yeah. It's for the future. You
that his future? I forgot.
Yeah, episode 1.
It was early on.
Yeah.
It was only short, but Jimmy was confident as at. Well, I think it was about $3 or $4 that we got it at. I'll have to double check that, Jimmy, around that time. But
what's he paying now for it? We got it
$2 something,
$2 something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so who do you have for the Cox plate? Don't you, Jim?
Yeah, Cox plate. We did him for the futures ages ago.
Because he's not going to be winning the Caulfield Cup. I've got something for the Caulfield Cup.
He'll be handicapped too much for the Caulfield Cup, so he won't go there. So.
All right, boys. So, also, Jess, you hit on the your go-to bet, and there's a pretty good chance you could be rolling with that again this week. Brian Toto goes over nice and early for us.
So we didn't get any inside goss on Munster, unfortunately, but I'm confident that our BYO will salute again this week. Yeah. It's tonight too, isn't it?
Yeah, tonight.
It is, yeah. Looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
But let's get into week 13. Jimmy, we're staying at Flemington the whole day this week, boys, which is good. We can just sort of stick to the one meeting. You're both starting off pretty early, but Jimmy, you're the earliest in race 2.
Yeah, so race 2, Captain Obvious here. I'm going with Artorius. So he was huge first up. He copped a bit of interference, had to go about 6-7 wide into the straight, and yeah, his final 200 for the day, it was all good. Sectionals were good. He goes up to 1400. He'll strip a lot fitter. Second up last prep down the big Sandown hillside track. He absolutely brained it wasn't a bad field, but he made them look like they were fucking like the Bulldogs of the NRL sort of thing. Like he fucking destroyed them. So he's short $1.70, but the price is warranted and drawn a great barrier 6. So he'll start the day off good, and he's going to be a multi-builder for a lot of people.
Well, speaking of multi-builders, we could be going straight from yours, Jim, into yours, Jesse, in race 3. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, I definitely recommend that. There is a few short price favorites getting around on the weekend, but they are short price for a reason. Like, only bad luck beats them, really. So I'll go into mine now anyway. So I'm in Flemington race 3, and I'm on board Ingratiating. So we got that at $1.95. He won very well first up, and Ollie has come out and mentioned that he's come back a far better horse this prep. And last prep he just lost to Finance Tycoon.
Yeah,
Finance Tycoon, but that was from a horrible steer. And I think with fitness and improvement on his side, I think he gets the upper hand on Finance this time round, and the $1.95 is. Yeah, it's respectfully there for a reason. So I'd recommend anyone to multi the two, and that'll be a good kickstart to your day.
Yeah, nice few easy kills to start the day. That'd be nice. So we're going away from our best and a few easy kills. Jim, we're going to come to the value of the day, and as per, we're going these each way. We're sticking to Flemington, as I said up the top, and you're going defibrillate. I always struggle to say that fucking name.
So defibrillate. So he's a horse I've followed for a while. I got Jesse onto him last prep.
Yep.
And first up, he's basically a track gallop first up. He never does anything first up, and it was at the Valley. Track doesn't suit him. You had to be on the rail that day. He was out wide and just heaps far back. So we get Billy Egan back on board this weekend, which is a big tick because he's got the best association with the horse. He's rode it 9 times, won 6. So second up, the horse is actually undefeated. It's got to carry the 60.5 kilos. But Skyman, if Skyman drew a barrier, who's the favourite, I think barrier 1 is what gets that beat. So that's why I was happy to go around it.
Yep.
And yeah, I reckon Billy Egan just drops back. There's no reason to go back to last from the barrier. So I reckon we can sit about midfield. And then I reckon it's going to be an ugly race, and you're going to be wanting to come out a bit wide. And yeah, if we get out wide into those middle lanes, second up, he'll fire. And yeah, he's been proven in a weight for age group 1 race last prep, finishing 1.7 off Homesman. And a lot of these horses, they're like stayers resuming, and the top 3, they're stayers resuming. So the trip will be a bit too short for him. And then, yeah, it's just, you can put a line through a lot of those runners before the race even starts, sort of thing. And I reckon second up at those odds has been a bit of early support for him as well.
Lovely. Is there any track bias do you think will be happening for Flemington? Where do you want to be tomorrow, boys? Do you have any, or do you think it's going to run pretty true?
Yeah, so
should be true.
When the rail's in the 2 meter position, which is what it is on the weekend, statistics show the biggest percentage of winning is back markers. So that's at like 38%. And midfield's 30, and same with on pace to leaders, it's 30. So it'll run even. It'll be like tempo related. But I reckon the horses that can get back and come down the middle will be benefited.
Beautiful. And your race 5 for your value, Jess?
Yeah, so in that race, there is a very classy horse in Anton going around who I'm a big fan of. He was going to be my best of the day, but I saw too much value in Regards Maurice. So last start, he had to do more work than any horse in the race just to hold a spot. He held on well for third. This time around, he meets King Magnus 4 kilos better. Third up, he's won twice from 3 attempts third up. He'll get the long Flemington straight to just roll forward with. He meets Anton 2 kilos better as well, but I'm not sure if that will matter because Anton's going to be a Group 1 horse in my opinion.
The race. It's just a matter of what gets second or third.
Yeah, it's a matter of what gets second or third, but I think Regards Marie is easily a top 3 finish. So I'm happy for a 1-4 play there on on Sir Regards Marie.
You'd probably want each way though, wouldn't you, Jess? If we're like, either 1-4, yeah, so play less on the and load up more on the place.
Yeah, just because the simple fact, like I can't see Anton losing, but yeah, for the 220 value, you get more for that than what Anton is winning. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a good.
All right, boys, we're moving on to the head-to-head. And when I picked this race, boys, I was because it was obviously a really tough race to pick a winner. I have so many of my favourites that are in this same horse and the horses that I've picked before. So I'll let you guys go first, so you could potentially get rid of a few of the decisions I wanted to make. So I'll let you kick it off, Jess, because you did take a horse that obviously has massive raps. It's been on fire from last prep, and it's first up, but it's absolutely been pumped.
I was on Instant Celebrity at first, Inspirational Girl, sorry, because as you know, we're both a fan of her, but I couldn't go past the Incentivize, and on upside alone, like, yes, it hasn't faced this like quality of field, but when you're averaging 10 lengths of margin over your last 3 starts,
it almost feels like it doesn't matter who you're racing.
Yeah, it almost doesn't feel like it doesn't matter. And there's no speed in this race, so it's a very tricky field to try and map. And Incentivize opened at 750, and what did we get? 370.
We got 375.
375. So yeah, he's already been smashed in, and again, the trip may be too short for him, but I'm going with the same approach as what I did with Zaki, is that it could potentially just be less lengths for him to put on the rest of the field.
Yeah,
but
it is 1-from-1, Jess, because I had a look at it too, because it generally does its best work. Because as you know, boys, I've told you I had an early play on it for the Caulfield Cup, so I'm very intrigued to see how it runs in this race, because I got mid-20s for it for the Caulfield Cup, and it's been pumped in for that into $7 favourite at the moment. So I'll be definitely keeping a close eye on this race, and in particular this horse, because I'm hoping that early jam I got on it for the Caulfield comes good for me.
Nice. Well, I don't think they've got it there to lose, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to run well, and I'm actually really excited to see how it does come back. So.
Yeah, because like if you look at its first up and second up form, it must be flying, because people must know something about it. You know, like when when there's smoke, there's fire, and its first up and second up form's not that great. It normally does its best work late, like the skip. So I'm surprised to see. Like, obviously, I thought the price to start off with was sort of correct, you know, but then the fact that it's been pumped in. The fact that it's been pumped in has got me thinking some people around the horse. Yeah, it is ringing an alarm bell. So, who are you going though, Jimmy?
So I'm going one of your favourites as well, Skip. I'm going with Mwanga.
Yeah, boy.
$5.
Yep.
So reason being, I'm going. So I'm scared shitless of Incentivize as well, because we don't know what the ceiling is for it. But Incentivize, sorry. But so I'm going Mwanga. Just horses don't often beat Very Elegant like he did first up. Like, yes, he had the better run of the race, but she's the best mare in Australia. And yeah, he goes to another level second up. Because I mentioned to you as well, I was going to follow him second up wherever he went.
Yep.
So he should be undefeated second up. Last year's run when he ran second was he would have won that by probably 4 lengths. But the only issue for me is where Jai McNeil gets from the barrier. So he's drawn 11, so I'm hoping he's a bit positive and can roll forward and get one off the fence about 3 back and with some cover. Just not sure, where he maps to, and this horse he's got a serious turn of foot, Mwanga, and I want him to be in front of Kiai Nautique or whatever.
How do you say that?
Kiai Nautique. I want him to be in front of that horse because if it's a sprint home, if we got a head start on him, I'm confident Mwanga can go back to back and get a Group 1 up.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's like I said, I've got a few favourite horses in here. Some horses that I've tipped before. I had a little look at Tefane as well, but I'm going to stick with Agon, boys, on the back of the run first up a couple of weeks ago. It races well. Like I said, it does its best work early. It's a little bit different to incentivize. It does its best work early. Agon gets a nice little barrier, and this race is so tricky, like with so many good horses. It's like I'm still going to, even though it hasn't worked for me in the last couple of weeks, I'm still going to stick by that, almost looking for a horse who's a bit of value, who could get the perfect race if it pans out that way. And it hasn't been that far off. Like it ran not too far off Moanga in the Doncaster as well. So, I'm really
last start as well.
Yeah, it was coming home. It was coming home. So, a little bit worried if there's not too much pace on up front, boys. But I'm happy to have a play on the $10. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's, that's the hardest thing with this race is trying to map the speed.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing at all.
There's no true leader.
No true leader in the race.
And in these big races too, like tactically, how the jockeys go about it is going to be real. Like it'll pretty much define the race. So I'm looking forward to this race, boys. No matter what the result, obviously we want to win, but I'm excited to see how a couple of these horses go, coming into some bigger races.
Well, hopefully incentivize starts off well for you, Skip.
That'd be nice. I'd love to lose on Agon and fucking incentivize just brain him at 1,600, rolling into fucking some bigger races, like I said, later in around October.
Yeah, so if he brains them on the weekend, he'll start. He'll start around $3 for the fucking Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, so he'll come right in again, won't he? All right, boys. Jimmy, you're going away from the NRL this week. NFL starts. Boys, we are less than 25 minutes from kickoff, and I'm fucking pumped for this. I've also got an NFL play in it, but Jimmy, you've gone 4 of the best. Who are you going in the NFL this week?
So I thought it'd be rude not to go for the NFL in the week 1. So we're going the Niners head-to-head against Detroit.
Yep, that's easy kill. That was one of my locks.
And then we're going Miami, even though it's at Foxborough against the Patriots. There's no way I'm taking a rookie quarterback in his first ever game against one of the best defensive teams in the league. So I reckon Mac Jones will be in for a bit of a rude awakening there.
I love that bet.
The Chiefs, the Browns could not have got a worse round 1 fucking matchup. The Chiefs coming off that Super Bowl loss at home. So their offense will put too much pressure on the Browns defense.
Yep.
And then the LA Rams, who I noticed you mentioned you got raps on Matty Stafford. You like him. I reckon with the addition of him, I reckon the Rams just go up to a little bit more and to another level. And, I reckon they get the easy win. And that's $5.19 for those 4 teams. So
that's actually good value.
Yeah, that is good value. It's a nice bet, Jim. I've got to concur, especially on the Matt Stafford side of it. Being a Packers fan, I've had to see go against Matt Stafford, and over the years, although it's been good for us as Packers fans to beat him, he's always had games or spurts where I thought if they could just build a solid team around him. He had a really bad offensive line for a long time when he had good receivers, and he started to get, his defense, their defense has always been fucking rubbish. So now he goes to a team where he doesn't have to do that much. And he doesn't, even though he's capable of bombing the ball, he won't have to do that with some of the schemes that McVay will write up. So I'm pumped for him. I think I just did a blog for MVPs and whatnot. He's not a bad smoky, but if they had Cam Akers fully healthy, their running back who come on really well at the end of the year, I would have liked him even more.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know he's the OG of the no look pass that Patty Mahomes does.
Yeah, for sure. And Rodgers gave him credit for that too.
Last year for it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like Mahomes this, Mahomes that. He goes, Matt Stafford's been doing this for years.
Yeah. And that's
I'm very excited to see how he goes this year. It's good he got out of that Detroit system.
And Jess, you were the one who declared Justin Herbert for your future MVP. You still happy with that bet?
Still happy with that.
A lot of people are starting to speak about it.
A lot of people,
analysts.
I've seen you put that in the group chat.
As we said, I messaged it to you on Insta.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, as like we've mentioned, it's that second year hoodoo of MVP quarterbacks coming in the league. So I'll definitely be watching his round one game.
Yep.
Because
a big test against Washington too.
Yeah, that's you're going up against like probably one of the elite defensive teams. So that'd be a good, like, great opening game for him to see how he's at. So if he can go for 304 touchdowns, like, I think we're looking good for that.
If he puts 304 touchdowns on that young improving defense, then he'll a few more people might be jumping. It might be on like incentivized boys. It might the odds might be coming in on Justin Herbert as well. But you go on your stock standard go-to bet. This never lets you down. This bet just for the sports.
Yeah. So it smells like jam again. So as I mentioned earlier, Munster couldn't give us the insight as to who's in and who's out. But the Manly Melbourne game, BYO play, it's succeeded in the past quite a few times. So that's for any player wearing 2 or 5 to score, and we're getting $3 for that jam.
In the first 15.
In the first 15
minutes, yeah. And that bet's been, it's just staying there too. Sports bet aren't afraid to put it away. It's been hitting. They're dangling it because you know what they know.
I'm on a treadmill just chasing that $3 every week.
Yeah, they know we're going to give it away in fucking horses the next day. That's why.
Yeah, that's why they do it. They go, look at all these dumb cunts fishing for this day. We get them every Friday night, and then we get it all back.
Smart marketing.
Yep.
Great marketing, sports bet. But I'm bringing that peach jam this week, Juzzy.
Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. That's nice. Is that a peach bowl? Is that what's peach jam? What's that from?
Peach jam. It's from an NBA, little NBA fucking basketball comp that they had. It says it on the back. What's it say, Jimmy?
Yeah.
It was a 2006 Nike Invitational.
Nike Invitational. Pickup game kind of thing.
I love that. A little bit of jam any way we can get it, boys. Lovely.
That's it.
All right, boys, I've got a bit of a mixed bag for this one this week. I've sort of tried to go through the NFL, NRL, and horses and try to find a bit of a value multi because I just mixing it up, trying to keep the bookies honest. One player who I love to score a touchdown this week, I think he's playing at about the odds we just looked before. He's paying about $1.75, $1.80 against the very weak Detroit Lions defense is Raheem Mostert, the running back for the 49ers. I spoke about it on the pod with Jacko, rookie in the vet. They're the worst team in the league, a second worst team at giving up rushing touchdowns, the Lions, last year. And they also gave up 10 to running backs via the passing game. So I think
we'll have a big bounce back year as well.
Shanahan's run scheme is easily the best in the league. I just can't see how this bet doesn't get up. There you go, jinx myself, boys. Another bet that I just can't see losing is on the back of the performance 2 or 3 weeks ago. The Panthers did a number on South, and now South are without Latrell. I can't see how the Rabbitohs are able to bridge that gap any more so than what they did 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I have the Panthers 13 plus at $2. And Jimmy, like I said, I couldn't pick a winner in the I was struggling to pick a winner in the Makybe Diva, but one thing I do know is that Mo'unga is going to be toughing it out there at the end. So I'm really confident that it runs the place. So I think it's going to be thereabouts. Like I said, whether it beats Incentivise and it's like a really tough field, I just feel like Mo'unga will be there at the end fighting it out. So I've got Mo'unga in place.
How many times has a place leg cost you in the last of your multi?
Well, let's hope it doesn't get us this time, Jess. Most at any time touchdown, Panthers 13 plus, and Mo'unga to run a place in the Makybe Diva.
I do like that bet. It's a very smart play.
Smart play, Jazzy.
All right, boys. Well, all the best for the punting over the weekend. Exciting. We're going to go watch some NFL straight away after this, and then the footy's on tonight. Melbourne Storm, fucking Makybe Diva tomorrow. Big races. Fucking great week of sports, boys.
It's good. That's it. It's good. NFL's back.
TB12 time. Let's go.
All right, boys. I'll see you next week.
All right, Josh. Take care.